Welcome to Yellowbrick Road. I am Jordan, and today Candace is now doing. You can see she's live right now. She is doing the explosive story about the Tyler Robinson kid, and we're gonna watch it. Why not? But first, this is pretty interesting. Allegedly, this is a letter that Charlie was writing to Benjamin Netanyahu before he got shot and killed, and it makes me feel like I'm correct about this whole Kirk was quote unquote going against Israel. Not really. It's more of, hey, young people are not liking what's happening, whether it's the amount of money being sent over there or, the genocide. And Charlie's like, hey, man, we need to do better PR, to make you guys look good. It wasn't him like, oh my God, I hate Israel now. Oh my God, Israel controls our government. Yada, yada, yada. At least I don't think. But before I get started, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it is very much appreciated. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join up in that. Halloween's around the corner, and I like to do my horror movie things. So maybe I do that in there. I don't know. We'll find out. Also, please, there's not that many sources here, but this thing will be sourced because there's a lot in here. The whole letter printed out. Even more. Here you go. But I'm only going to read a section of it, which is quoted in this part right here. So please check out the description box. Take advantage of it. All right. Here we go. Let's read this from America First Post. The letter Charlie Kirk sent to Netanyahu in May advised the Israeli leader on how to counter anti-Israel sentiment among Gen Z and the information war being waged against the Jewish state. In the letter, Kirk stressed that Israel needs a communications intervention with the American public, stating that dwindling support for the Holy Land pains him to see. To combat rising anti-Zionism among the youth, Kirk urged Netanyahu to create an Israel Truth Network staffed by young people to convey that Israel is a great friend of America to Gen Z Americans, to bring Israelis held hostage in Gaza on a speaking tour across the country, to conduct on-the-street interviews with Israeli minority groups entitled Dude, You Got Us Wrong, and to have more of Netanyahu's own clips translated from Hebrew into English. Kirk also suggested that Israel could do more for America, such as offering hurricane aid with a Star of David on it, in order to boost American political and military support. That all screams shady as fuck. Super duper shady as fuck, dude. Holy Christ. Pleading with Netanyahu to stop subcontracting Hezbollah efforts to American surrogates, Kirk pledged to push the propaganda to his young audience, identifying himself as a defender of Judeo-Christian civilization. Kirk assured Netanyahu of his unwavering pro-Israel stance and insisted that his concerns came from a place of love for Israel and the Jewish people. Now, if this is from May, and I leave room for the idea that he might change around a bit, but I don't think that. This seems more like where Charlie was, at the end of his life. Just wanted to make the PR better because he's the one sitting in front of young Americans every day, all the time, right? And getting these fucking bullets, fuck, no pun intended. These arguments being hurled at him, and yeah, he has to he's the fucking human shield for it, for American support for Israel. He has been, and I think he was continuing that. And his only complaints were probably like, hey, we could do a better PR job here. All right? So that it's easier for me to mind melt young people into following and supporting what you're doing. That's the impression I got from Charlie. This letter would help me, make me feel a little bit more reassured about that. And once again, granted, it's from May, so I'll say fair enough, but still, I mean, his actions seem to be right in line with this. The think tank thing he did from a month ago, with TPUSA heads or chapter leaders, chapter heads from different universities. Yeah, all of that looks like on purpose propaganda to support Israel, not to turn against them, as some people were implying. But either way, just want to leave that in here. It'll be in the description box. And obviously, this guy took screenshots of all the pages here. You can read it yourself. All right, let's get to the quote-unquote main event. As you can still see here, Candace is live. I'm closing that for now. 104,000 people watching at once right now. If the video refreshes, I will hopefully know where we were at, so we can go go back to it. Sometimes when live streams end, they kind of refresh the video because it's now like a uploaded video, and I hope I don't lose my spot. But either way, let's just jump right into this. Here is Candace Owens giving us all the information we needed about Tyler Robinson and how I guess the feds and whoever else are lying about him. Here we go.
All right, you guys, happy Monday, and get ready because we are going on a journey. I left you guys on the ultimate cliffhanger last week. I did not intend to, by the way. I genuinely wanted to get the information out as soon as possible that Tyler Robinson is not suicidal. And I'm going to tell you how I know that. Also, while investigating this assassination, there is a politician's name that keeps coming up. And now he's apparently mad that we keep asking questions. I'm beginning to think that he might know something that he hasn't yet shared. So I wanted to kind of loop you guys into this and see what you think. Welcome back to Candace.
Nope.
Robinson didn't kill himself. I mean, these are the phrases that we now use and that we say when we expect that the federal government is telling us a lie. Last week, I have to tell you, I was contacted by a source who I vetted with information that answered a lot of the lingering questions that we've had about the investigation. Not all of them, but some of them, some of the big ones. First and foremost, we were like, how exactly did it work? How did Tyler Robinson turn himself in, as we were told, but also never confessed? And did he actually author those absurd Fed messages? Because I'm thinking no. Lastly, what was he doing at Dairy Queen? Doesn't really quite fit into our timeline. Also, don't expect this kid who just tried out being a stone cold killer to really have an appetite. And why exactly did the feds withhold that information at Dairy Queen? And why are they allegedly stalking the Dairy Queen to see who comes in and out? We have the story that could potentially answer all of those questions. And it certainly makes a lot more sense than the slop that the government is currently trying to feed us.
I apologize for the closed caption.
Tyler Robinson has never confessed. They acknowledge that he has never confessed to this crime, and he still is pleading innocence on the shooting. In fact, I was told that he was, quote unquote, bewildered by the idea that he carved casings. I should be clear, he does not dispute the fact that it is his gun at all. It is his gun. But Tyler is not exactly a gun enthusiast. He doesn't hunt like his other brothers do. In fact, he's apparently a fisherman. The reason that he has that gun in the first place is because it is, in fact, a custom-made family heirloom.
Yeah.
Tyler is the firstborn son, so he inherited. That's what firstborns do. They get the family heirloom. That is why he has the gun. As many of you guys have noted, the Robinson family appear to be conservative, hence the hunting and the fishing as the sports of their choosing. I am told that they are fans of Charlie Kirk and they are fans of Donald Trump, although this source noted that Tyler, like many other conservatives have expressed, wished that Trump would sometimes tone down his speech and his rhetoric. Now, on
Interesting, because that is the exact opposite perspective that they were telling us through the news and through these influencers and through even the government officials themselves, right?
Do you mean
Antifa. Yeah, what's up?
you mean about Tyler, or you mean about his parents? Because about his parents, that's consistent.
Well, yes, they've been saying that they're Trump supporters, but not Tyler himself, right? They're saying he's
Right.
Antifa, far leftist,
Yeah.
loves furry
Yeah.
trans people, or some shit like that,
Yeah.
right? But what Candace just said is that if she has hopefully some receipts for this, she's saying that, he maybe had some problems with Trump and the way he handled things, but like the way she's implying it, like he doesn't hate Trump. It's like,
Yeah, that's interesting.
and also, one of the earliest stories in regards to this, they brought up a story of the Tyler kid showing up to his house for dinner, right? To his parents' house for dinner, and they get into an argument about Charlie Kirk or something, but people are like, yeah, we don't like Charlie Kirk either. Now, they didn't name which family member this was, but that's what the governor of Utah was saying, along with other, basically the other media outlets are just quoting that guy. So it's like, interesting. And yeah, I think a day later, the grandma said, no, we're all fucking Republican Trump supporters. But the story's just been all over the fucking place. Hopefully, Candace has like real receipts for this stuff. But
she was alluding to in that fucking story.
Yeah.
Or the Instagram story.
Yeah. I forgot which video it's in, but I show the very beginning of the video. I show the thing that Josh sent me, the screenshots of her Instagram story, where she's basically saying, "Be ready on Monday. I'm gonna have some fucking crazy story," and that we've been lied to about Tyler Robinson, basically. I forgot which video it's in, but if you it's like at least within the last 5 videos, so it should be easy to find. But all right, here we go. Let's keep playing.
That Trump would sometimes tone down his speech and his rhetoric.
So
now, on the topic of rhetoric, I am told that Tyler absolutely did not author those text messages. What text messages? He has no idea where these messages came from. Believes that they are therefore entirely fictionalized. It turns out, you're going to be shocked, that he doesn't actually use words like vehicle, which should come as no surprise to anyone that has a brain.
Not good enough.
By the way, I'm sure you caught this, but there's old footage of Tyler Robinson that is now circulating from a car accident that he had. And during the discussion with the officer that showed up, Tyler certainly refers to it as his car,
my God,
his vehicle, because that's how most English speakers
I'll take
refer
account
to
of it, but
car,
not good
unless
enough.
they're in the military or on the police force. So here is 2022 police body cam footage, in case you missed that, of Tyler making a
I have not seen
crash
that
report. Take a listen.
Your mom's on her way?
Yeah, she's gonna be a minute. She's got to shuttle over from where she's at to her car and then drive over.
Gotcha.
His mother
what?
was going to shuttle over from her car? Interesting. There's more, of course.
It's not good enough.
Of most
Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
What I've learned is that his father
maybe
does
she's
not
being
believe,
extra diligent.
his parents
about
don't believe
this.
that their son committed this crime. I was like, huh? Excuse me? That's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. The father realized his son was guilty, so it goes, right? And then he phoned over a friend to help him convince his son to turn himself in, because this guy, this mysterious guy was a friend and just had a connection with Tyler. And eventually they said, you got to do the right thing here. We know this is you. That was the vibe. Certainly that's what the media was putting down for us to pick up. Well, I was told actually that it was kind of the opposite. That quote unquote family friend, who we learned was a former detective with the police force, at least, so therefore has strong ties with the police station, informed the family. It was that in-between person that informed the family that Tyler had been identified as the shooter. He recognized him. He knows Tyler. He gives them the heads up. And then I'm told, and I believe this, that the way in which he got arrested, or rather turned himself in, was because that family friend / neighbor / former detective told him, hey, it's best for you to turn yourself in because there's only one of two options here. Either you turn yourself in and everything is peaceable, or, the SWAT team could come in here and arrest you and things would get crazy. So That's what happened. He went
That's
over
fair
to their
enough.
house. Tyler was called over. Tyler was bewildered. He disputed the idea that he had murdered Charlie Kirk. In fact, according to my source, Tyler has never even stepped foot on UVU campus.
So that's one of the other from her Instagram story where it's like, holy shit, if you have a way to prove that, like all the things she claimed in that thing would throw the story in like it would take the police and media narrative they've given us and it's done with. It's over. But she needs to be able to prove these things. And
Like, she just keeps saying my source, and it kind of sounds like it was that detective. But, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either, man. I mean,
If we hear from the detective and if there's a way to, like, verify, like, oh, this person, you know?
well, here's how things like if you're not going to have the person identified, they have to give you something to where, okay, this person's legitimate. They have photos that not everyone has. They have written shit that no one else has. Whatever, contact information,
Right.
whatever. They have to have some sort of information that where it's like it doesn't matter if you're known or not. This is breaking and brand new type of shit. If she doesn't have that, then yeah, you're gonna need to because you have to find out how legitimate the source is, right? Are they a close friend? Are they a kind of distant friend? Are they related? Are they related but estranged? Like, there's a whole bunch of questions that go into that. But
It's more than just, like, a friend, though. Like, we're hearing something that just completely counters the whole narrative of what's going on. So that, I mean, it would have to be more than all, you know,
yeah,
all of that. It would, like, it would have to be so concrete. But that's why I'm, like, looking at, like, why haven't we heard from this person before now? Why are they going through Candace? Like, I don't.
well, if it's all bullshit and it's a setup, according to Candace Owens, let's say it's something like that, right? The police aren't going to go contact anyone that can showcase otherwise to their own narrative, right? Anyone that could contradict their story. So they wouldn't even look for, like we said before, the TPUSA video footage or this anonymous source of Candace or other people that had cell phones showing something different happening, right? As far as like bullet angles and where the shot came from and whatever the fuck, right? But that it's like if the police are doing like a conspiracy thing, it's so sloppily done that like we're learning new holes every day. Forget about Candace. Just regular shit's like, wait a minute, this shit doesn't make sense. How the fuck did this happen? And it ends up like straight up in my mind, like debunked. The idea of the guy, like based on all the people I've heard, the idea of that guy shooting from that spot with that gun, everyone say that doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm kind of on board with that, which means there's already a shit ton of holes in this whole fucking thing. Intuitively, the writings on the bullets and all that stuff, like, ugh, what the fuck is this? And then also the text messages that just scream like, what the fuck is this shit? So there's already like plenty of wiggle room for holes in their fucking stories. And yeah, this could be a mess. It could, or it could go away. I don't know. I guess it depends on the population where this thing goes.
I don't know though, dude. Like, what evidence do they have on Tyler now? Like that, like causing to like, what are they gonna get him in court with?
Well,
Those text messages or something? Like, I don't.
the idea of the official story and that like, that kid was perched up on that rooftop and shot from that angle, that is already like
Crazy.
everyone's like, no way. Which means whatever they're telling, like that means what they told us is bullshit, off rep, unless they change their story and say, no, he was actually over here. But then you're like, well, what about that parking lot footage of this guy running across the rooftop? What was that then? That if that wasn't Tyler, who the fuck was that?
The blur.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Like that's what I'm. And then where did they go?
Or we had the picture in the, what was it, the stairwell, like not the video
Right.
but just the still
Exactly.
picture,
Exactly.
which kind of looked like him, but he had different pants on, right? Like it just
I'm not
it
gonna
looked
lie.
similar but not identical.
The picture, like of especially of the stairwell where you see the glasses, it doesn't look like him. He's like a
Yeah.
weird looking face and shit. Like it
Similar,
doesn't look
but
like.
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we never actually there's no proof of it, and he has not said he has not confessed in a way where we see it. We've heard a second or third hand that he's confessed. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that could be bullshit. So we don't know that he ever confessed, and so all we know is what other people have said, and
Yeah.
that's not enough. Like
And
I think there's enough reason, even though it might sound weird to a lot of people, but there's enough reason if you know you're innocent to not start speaking up the way he did, particularly because he was very non-responsive
yeah.
to
Yeah.
like he wasn't panicking, he wasn't like doing the usual things that people do when they're interrogated. He was just like cold for the most part. It was very small movements. So
Wait, did you
I
see it? There's an interrogation video.
No, it's not
they're
interrogation. They're planning
not
like court dates and
they're
shit like that or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah, when he's wearing that green thing.
Like officially charged,
Yeah.
I think might be the idea of
It's
it.
like yeah, he's getting
Collective
arraigned in
charges.
court. Yeah.
Arraigned. Yeah, I don't know what those are called, but
Arraigned.
when you're telling them all these things, um, like most people react much stronger, but and it's kind of hard you can't tell why he's not, but being innocent would be one reason. If you know you have evidence,
Mhm.
they might tell you not to like speak up at that time for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like
I
if you
do.
have sufficient evidence, it could make you much calmer than like somebody who's looking at.
I
Yeah.
Like
do
we
think.
don't know his
I
reasons.
I do think though that like if he actually is innocent, then him speaking to media immediately is an extremely important thing to do. Whether it's through his lawyer or what, Blue, go place, or whatever it is, he needs to like he
Yeah.
needs to make his voice clear, which right
Well,
now it's not.
I mean,
no.
Candace is kind of
When
taking
what I
care of
mean
that right
about
now.
innocent,
If that kid
and when,
dies,
when I see
right?
innocent is like that he didn't shoot him, right? He
Right.
may be associated or just maybe helping, like buy the person time. Like
Yeah.
I'm just saying he didn't shoot him, possibly, and
Yeah.
and and but he could have direct or indirect reasons to make this
Well,
take longer.
we don't know because the initial stories we heard was the kid was saying he's not guilty, right? But we don't have
Hmm.
actual like direct proof of that or evidence of that because like there's so many other things that change. Like the initial idea was that the friend that came over to console them and make him get him to turn himself in. The initial story was that he was like a fellow pastor or some shit like that, right? He was like a religious person that the family know, a close family friend that kind of like guided him, like, "Hey, turn yourself in, my son," right? But now I'm here
Yeah.
like, oh, he's a fucking like, veteran fucking detective guy who's like, listen, you don't want the SWAT kicking your fucking door in and you get shot, bro. Just turn yourself in. Like it sounds like that, or it could be something suspect, right? Or maybe the person's like, yo, like they try to trick him. Like, yo, turn yourself in for this. We know it's you, man. Turn yourself in. Who knows?
Yeah.
So the initial stories all keep running backwards to me, and then we have these new ideas, and it's like we need like real receipts and evidence. But the people that are supposed to have the best, let's be real, have the best resources, the best technology, all like they can get any evidence they want. They don't seem to be like actually doing that. At least what we see on the surface. Maybe behind closed doors, they're fucking doing all the police work, but on the surface, we're not seeing that. We're not seeing them do like hardcore investigating to figure out what actually happened.
Right.
So it's like you end up in this weird scenario where it's like now we're just guessing games until something, a real like IQ test for the whole scenario happens, right? Maybe Candace has it, maybe not. I don't know. I say let's find out because she's making a lot of claims here. Maybe she has receipts. Here we go. There's more Candace.
Tyler, it turns out, which has already been revealed, was accepted into Utah State University, not Utah Valley. And that's actually interesting if you pause and reflect on that, because we didn't really consider how on earth Tyler became not just familiar with the layout of the campus, but familiar with the rooftop layout of UVU campus. So familiar that he knew exactly how to scale across the rooftops to duck down in order to take an almost impossible shot at a Charlie Kirk who was sitting beneath a a tent. How did he know how to do all of that? Had he been there before? Did
Yeah,
he
that would
knew
take
where Charlie
planning.
was going to be sitting in it, that he would have that shot from on top of the Losey Center? What?
There's no like it would have to be planned, right? And they actually, whether they're fake or real, the text messages are saying like, yeah, I set this up. I planted the gun here. I picked it up, when I went on my way to the campus, and then shot it. Then left it back at the scene of the crime, and he's going to plan to come back and grab it later, right? So it's like, either way, this guy had to plan things out. Even if he's a novice shooter or he's just some kid, either way, it was planned out. That has to be the case if it was the Tyler Robinson kid, and it is if it's the official story. Yeah. But all right, here we go.
Right? I would actually, and I don't know, but I would imagine that even actual current UVU students don't know that possibility. Like they're not even that familiar with how
Google
to scale
Maps,
the rooftops and what shots they can
Candace.
take from
There's
it.
a chance you have to leave room for that.
Curiously, however, my source says that Tyler Robinson was nearby the campus on that day. I'm wondering if that fact, which I'm trying to learn more information regarding, explains the Dairy Queen photo. Because what was he doing around the campus on that day? Where exactly
that Dairy Queen is
was
gone.
he around the campus on that day? This photo.
I heard that. I didn't look to confirm that. I just saw it out there floating around as an idea that they actually did kind of took down the Dairy Queen.
I saw a guy who went to the Dairy Queen. You could see like it was a Dairy Queen, and he's at the address. It's just gone.
Like, that just looks like some dude at a fucking Dairy Queen. He got his chicken tenders and a Frosty. Or not a Frosty, what do they call them? A Blizzard or whatever. It's just like he would have to be like, is he that like cold-blooded to where he's just like, yeah, I know how to like just play it cool and get my fucking ice cream, and it's just weird. I don't know, it's just bizarre. But all right, here we go.
On that day, where exactly was he around the campus on that day? This photo never made any sense. When I plugged it into my timeline, it wasn't fitting in. So if you're wondering why exactly Tyler would agree to go to the police station if he's not guilty, ironically, the police were honest that day on one of the points. Well, first and foremost, that point is Tyler is not suicidal. He wanted to go to the police station so that he didn't risk accidentally getting shot by the police swarming his home, as I said earlier, in a theatrical arrest setting. But rather confusingly, Nate Brooksby, tells us that Tyler is suicidal. Whatever. Let's just take a listen to what Nate Brooksby said after he had been apprehended. Take a listen.
So I get a call from my friend, and his said, "Hey, how you doing?" Good. And it's not, he's been retired a few years. We'll call each other. It's not unusual for me to get a call from him or vice versa. And at 8:02 p.m. he calls me. Hey, I can tell his voice is kind of shaky. So my first thought is, who died? Like who's he going to tell me that died? And then I couldn't fathom what actually came out of his mouth. So he said, "Hey, I know who Charlie Kirk shooter is. I know the family through religious association, and he's in Washington County now, and we're working on trying to get him to come in voluntarily." During that phone call, some information was provided about Tyler potentially having some suicidal ideations, was en route to a remote area of Washington County. The parents convinced him not to do that, and conveyed that they would stand by him and help him surrender peacefully.
I'm told that's not true. That Tyler was not suicidal at all. He was just confused and didn't want to get shot. And then he gets to that part, right? He then tells us, Brooksby, that he came in willingly because he didn't want to die. Let's take a listen to that portion.
Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives. So that was part of the deal. Is Tyler knew it was just inevitable with all the law enforcement pressure that he his picture in the news, the gun on the news. He knew it was inevitable that he would be caught. He was fearful of a SWAT team hit on his house, or he was fearful of being shot by law enforcement. So part of the negotiation and getting him to bring himself in was that we would treat it as delicate and as soft as possible to make him feel comfortable to where he would show up at my office, and that's exactly what happened.
It can't be both. It can't be both. Was he suicidal and wanting to die, or was he worried about dying? It can't be both. And I didn't catch on to that early on. The answer was he came in because
Fair
he
enough.
is not suicidal and did not want to get shot and was confused, as I am told. Now, you're probably
It's fair enough. Fair enough. Sometimes people who maybe in a suicidal state may want to like have it in their own hands and not just get killed by someone else, you know? But that's fair enough logic to bring up if he's like, yo, I don't want to get fucking shot and killed. As in, like, preservation of one's own life would mean, like, okay, you're not really suicidal, but here we go.
wondering why the father and the mother didn't speak out to assert his innocence. That would make sense, right? Why don't you come right out and dispute everything immediately? Well, interestingly enough, I'm told that it's
She's
because
gonna
the
bring up
feds
the $1 million.
told them that if they spoke out, their lives could be at risk. Like they needed to keep things private, and they convinced the family to go into witness protection. Like, your lives are in danger. You shouldn't say anything. Somebody could just come back and try to harm you guys because of what your son did. You should go into witness protection and don't speak to anybody. Trust us, we're the feds, bro.
That is very specific. So this one, if this source is real and all that shit, once again, not accusing Candace of bullshitting any of this. I'm just saying, let's leave room for possibilities here. But the way she's talking sounds like a very close source, like close to the fucking family, or a cop that's directly dealing with the family and Tyler himself and all that stuff. It could be like you said, Josh. It could be the guy, the friend cop that came over and called up. They say, hey, he's gonna turn himself in. Let's make this very clean so no one gets hurt. Maybe it's him, the family friend who's a cop.
That's what it sounds like. I don't know.
Yeah, the word she's using, it has to be someone close. It has to be. This can't be from, unless she's just using rumors that are being spread by maybe other cops that are around the investigation, but not actually embedded in it. I don't know. She's talking like this person's like straight up in the inner circle of all of this. So, all right, here we go.
And they agreed, of course, in the fog of it all. Why wouldn't you agree? But then, like any good, maybe conservative family, you start going, I don't really trust these feds. Like, I'm a little suspicious about the feds. Here's
too.
another point of interest, okay?
But with the reason.
His father had no idea that Tyler was gay. That's what I'm told. They are learning this in and through the media. They thought that Lance was just his roommate. And they were especially shocked because apparently Tyler kept mentioning to them that he wanted them to meet some girl that he was seeing. Now, I would like to interject my own voice here and say that I think this girl was likely Lance, and Tyler was working up the courage to tell his family that he was gay. That is what is most likely, in my opinion, because we know for a fact that Tyler was, in fact, in a relationship with Lance, because we have exclusive photos, by the way, they're about to show you, that the two of them posted to their Instagrams. This is Lance posting Halloween era photos. I forgot to post. My boyfriend is the best. Love you. Don't worry, that handle has since been taken down of what Tyler's handle was, but he's got a handle that doesn't have his name in it, so he's maybe trying to hide this stuff. And then there's another photo of them. And
Instagram
this
photos
one's
are
posted
not
by Lance
exclusive.
again.
Tipsy,
Pics
nude
from
on the
when Tyler
moon.
had
What
a
is-
mustache. You can see that they were in
It's
a
your era,
relationship.
Josh. This
Just
is your
makes sense
generation,
that he
bro.
was working up the courage
know.
to maybe tell his family about that. Now,
What?
I was told also that Tyler
Tipsy,
is off the charts
nude on the
intelligent
moon?
and always has been.
That's you
We
guys.
know
I missed
this.
it.
He had a
I
perfect
missed
GPA
it.
in high school.
I missed
Now
it.
that and about that. Now,
Song that's playing, and it's Lance
Bro.
Spam, Tipsy, nude on the moon. This is your generation, bro. You and Kata to see. Enjoy it, you buttheads.
Eat shit.
There we go.
we're in a relationship. Just makes sense that he was working up the courage to maybe tell his family about that. Now, I was told also that Tyler is off the charts intelligent and always has been. We know this. He had a perfect GPA in high school. Now, that is precisely what made the idea of him being so stupid as to author a full confessional via text messages, pointedly absurd. Like any person with a modicum of intelligence is going to go, I'm not going to put this down in writing with every detail.
You
And
never
apparently
know.
whoever offered those messages, likely feds, didn't have a modicum of intelligence.
I would hear the
Or they would
point,
have
but
maybe not included every single detail there. The family says that the photo of the young man that is coming up the stairs, which was shared, that blurry image, is definitively not Tyler Robinson. And let me just say, I never thought it looked like him. Neither did you. Okay. Face
Where's
looks
this guy
different.
at?
Face looks more narrow. Also, that person looks taller. Every time I say, I'm like, this person is taller than Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson also appears to have full lips, even though this image is blurry. We're not looking for someone that got fuller lips, and Tyler Robinson looks broader than that individual walking, right? So I'm on
Yeah.
board with that person walking up the stairs. It's not Tyler Robinson because
you got to be fair. Like with cameras, you don't know what type of camera is it. Like first of all, they should have showed video, right? Instead of just a picture. When you have video, you could see like mannerisms, you can see body types, you can see all this shit when they're in motion. At least a lot better than just a still image, right? So
Sure.
once again, all those things that just make it look sus, right? And it's like
Yeah.
you would do both, right? You're like, okay, here's some pictures, but also here's the video, because you're showing video anyways. And when they were showing those things, they were trying to find out who killed Charlie Kirk, right? They're trying to catch them. So they're putting out images and shit on the internet to say like, hey, does anyone know who this person is? Right? They're doing like, FBI hotline shit. And it's like, if that's from a camera, like a video camera, why aren't you showing that? Then there's also metadata for showing time of like when things happen. But okay, I would understand if feds held on to that for themselves, of trying to figure out timeline after they catch Tyler Robinson. But when they don't have him yet, and they're suspected, like, who the fuck is this guy? Anyone know who this is? See, look. Like, you would show video in case something slips up, sneaker profile, an initial on the back of a sneaker or something, like something.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Maybe he's known for, like, putting a certain cut in his jeans a certain way. Like, anything to help you find whoever the fuck did this stuff. And by the way, they don't find him unless he turns himself in. They don't. So it's like, what the fuck? It's ridiculous.
So I just, yeah, I don't trust it at this point.
I mean, once again, the shot and the angle and the caliber of gun, and everyone just has convinced me personally. I can't say I know, but they convinced me at least for where I'm guessing. That already tells me like something's not right here. So, all right, let's continue. But I'm still waiting for like some real receipts from Candace. Right, some real receipts, not just I've talked to this guy and they said this. Right? So here we go.
Tyler Robinson looks broader than that individual walking, right? So I'm
Camera
on
angles can
board
do
with
weird
that
things.
person walking up the
So you
stairs is
know.
not Tyler Robinson because I feel like it was intentionally blurred. They also never gave us the footage at all because in order to blur it, they probably needed a static image. Also, the family believes that, and this is really interesting, Tyler Robinson's apartment was staged after his arrest. Now, you will recall that I spoke to Lance's family. And one of the things that Lance's family said was, hey, we own that apartment. They pay rent to us. We've never met Tyler Robinson, but I can tell you that it seems like they were trying to hide the fact that this apartment got raided. And it's very strange that they immediately cleared Lance as a suspect. And I was told by other people in the department that they wanted to keep that raid very hush-hush. They didn't want anybody to know about the raid. There was no mention of this raid. And Lance immediately gets cleared as a suspect. Why? Well, according to Tyler's family, they went to that apartment after his arrest and they felt the apartment was staged and that intentionally in Tyler's room, a furry bed was placed. Almost sort of implying that they're trying to transfer the attributes of Lance
I don't even know what that means.
onto Tyler.
Furry
Yeah,
bed.
what?
And that's shady. But again, when I put together what I'm being told by Lance's family and what I'm hearing from the Robinson family through a third party, I will say that it matches. It kind of seems like they're agreeing. One family's going, hey, Lance is kind of evil. Why is he getting cleared? And the other one's going, Tyler's not this guy. Tyler is not this guy. So what the hell is going on, guys? What is actually going on right now? There's also
So
something
I
else
got a
that's weird that I
question.
want to.
Did she mention, like, so he went to turn himself in so that he would not get shot because they thought it was him? Like, why did they think it was him if he's the one who turned himself in? They didn't have like a search for him, right? Or that's something that's a gap for me. I don't understand.
Wait. The parents were saying we recognize it as him or some shit like that, right? That was the initial reports, at least.
Right.
And then the dad told Tyler to, hey, show me a picture of Grandpa's gun, right? Show me a picture of that, and he couldn't. So thus he's like, oh shit, the gun I saw on TV or whatever, that's Grandpa's gun. So thus Tyler must have done it. I think that was like the logic of at least the initial stories. Candace is throwing shit at at that idea itself, but she's not providing me with anything to where I could, like, she's just saying things, right? How do I know like what's legit or not? Candace. It can't just be I trust Candace. That's not good enough. So it's, and she's been running through them without like stopping and like, okay, here's how I can substantiate this. Right? And what was that Instagram fucking story thing? All right? Of I can promise you right now he is not suicidal. He wasn't even at the campus, right? And all she's doing is just repeating those same statements here instead of like showing us how that's the case.
Yeah. She goes on. There's like later where she talks about someone else, and because I already watched the stream, but I don't know. It's all really convoluted.
Okay. Well, it's just like I could understand in a sense of thing. Let's say Candace is being honest, and maybe she's worried about her being harmed, right? Because if there's a giant conspiracy happening, and you're exposing it, yeah, the idea would like, yeah, you could be harmed. So thus, let me just say this out loud now, even though I said it on Instagram, but I'll say it now on my channel too, just so people realize, or just so I don't just get like murked out of nowhere, or killed out of nowhere, right? We just say it, but you gotta substantiate it, otherwise we're not really. It's just you just saying things essentially, but. Maybe she has receipts. Maybe she's being patient. Maybe she's really trying to get the person that she's getting this information from to allow her to say their name or interview them or whatever the fuck, right? So, here we go. And there's still
Is
plenty of time
actually
left, so.
going on right now. There's also something else that's weird that I want to mention here, and that is the unusual lengths in which the media and the sheriff's department, they've gone through all of these lengths, I would say, to protect the identity of that former sheriff friend who was the one who convinced Tyler to turn himself in. Even in that press conference, by the way, Brooksby, I don't like the way he's moving. I don't like the way Nate Brooksby is breathing. I got to be honest with you. It's a vibe. For no reason at all, he feels like he has to explain how he got on the phone with this sheriff friend of his. Like, nobody asked you whether or not it was usual for him to call you. He's kind of over explaining here, in my opinion. Take a listen.
Well, he's not just, hey, I'm just a friend. Like, we're just being friends right now. Like, no, he's in his role, his occupational role, right? As like a sheriff. So yeah, he should be very careful with his words and like say things in a very strict way. But that doesn't make me feel surprised at all. If it's Tyler talking to his fucking furry lover, yeah, I expect it to be like a little bit more informal and just like kind of like shit talking back and like, you know what I mean? Like normal ass language. But with Mr. Sheriff on a podium in front of the news, and he knows people are like a lot of people are going to be watching this. Yeah, I expect him to be careful. Like he's like, hey, it's not unusual for this guy to call me, but then I heard his voice. He sounds a little, worried about something. And then he told me what's up. That makes sense because he's in his official capacity right here. He's not like just talking shit with a friend on while you're fishing, right? But I don't know. Fair enough, Candace. Question everyone. Please go ahead. Here we go.
At exactly 8:02 on the 11th, I received a call from a friend of mine who happens to be a retired detective that worked for me for many years. I didn't put that out there initially. I wanted to protect that individual as much as possible. Unfortunately, in the court documents, which is standard, he was referenced as a retired Washington County deputy. So I didn't put that out there. It was in the court docs. I was trying to protect even that information and just saying retired law enforcement in general.
Why are you trying to protect him? Why did you feel the need to explain to us earlier? It's not unusual.
Because planet Earth is maybe not planet Earth, but all of America is looking at this fucking story. That's why I can't. That makes sense to me. I don't know. Am I tripping on that? Like, I'm not saying like it's the right thing to do or the best way to go about things, but I can believe that someone would be like, listen, I know this guy, we're friends, right? And I'm not trying to like just get his name just thrown out there, you know, without his like real like permission to do so. Because let's be honest, things can happen. Whether he's a cop or not, ex-cop or not, things can happen to people, and it's not good. Like, not good things can happen. And then you have like maybe press just waiting outside his fucking front door and shit every day. Like, yeah, I could see someone like looking after someone like that. Like it is what it is. I don't know why that's such a big surprise for her. Something sus could be there, Candace, but to me, it just makes perfect sense to me that this guy might do that. Not knowing them, not saying this is the case, just saying I can view that as very possible. But here we go.
It makes sense that he would do that, but it also, I think Candace is jumping on anything that is intentionally hidden, right? Like,
Yeah.
if he's trying to hide this guy's identity, it's like, okay, why is that? And fair enough that this is the person who led him to turn himself in, like someone who,
Yeah.
in this telling of the story is innocent, and he's and the whole thing seems very set up. So she I guess she's looking at him as like, why, like he's within the connection of events like that.
Well, it's like, imagine, I don't know, once again, we don't know who the guy is, but imagine he has like, wife, kids, and there's reporters waiting outside his door every day, asking him like, "Hey, do you have anything to do with the death of Charlie Kirk? Huh? Are you part of this? Are you part of the conspiracy?" Like, I could see some dude like, "Yeah, don't worry, man. I'm gonna keep your name out of this."
Mhm.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
It could also be sus too. It could be some sort of conspiratorial thing happening where it's like, "All right, you set him up, right? Good job, friend. Good job." Maybe. It's just this is not good enough, Candace. You know what? Even though I'm not really getting so many receipts or anything like that, I am actually happy I'm watching this and reacting to it and pausing as much as I'm pausing, because I think there's plenty of people that will watch this and just get locked, it's like locked in, and just follow her words and where she's going without question. And I don't think that's the right thing to do. I got to throw the devil's advocate shit out there. I think it's necessary. By the way, someone tell Teddy to put that on the list. Put devil's advocate on there. I think I'm down to watch that this year. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
In general.
Why are you trying to protect him? Why did you feel the need to explain to us
Maybe they're
earlier?
friends.
It's not unusual for him to call me this guy, but I'm unfortunate that information is in documents that he was, formally working for me and working with me. What do you mean? If he was formally working for you, that would mean he was a public figure, and this should be usual. Public figures, people that work for police departments, are always public, and their informations are something. Their name is someone we could easily research. It's nonsense. He's weird about this.
But they're trying to keep it from Candace.
Says that he retired. I think a journalist asks in the audience, like, that former friend detective, how long has he been off the force? And he says, I don't know if we have that clip. Maybe we didn't cut that, Skylar, but he's like, 3 years. But actually, we were able to figure out who that individual was. And it's, I feel, someone that we need to get in touch with. We've tried to get in touch with him. The name of that individual is former Deputy Mike Mitchell. Okay.
Okay. I appreciate anyone using their intuition to look into things. But what if this guy is nothing to, like, he actually is just a family friend? He's like, hey man, just turn yourself in so you don't get fucking shot and killed. It's probably better to do it this way so that you're not, even if, like, okay, let's say you're innocent, whatever, but turn yourself in and then you can prove yourself innocent in court or whatever the fuck. All right? Not saying that's the case. I'm saying like that's a possibility. So I'd be very careful about like just throwing someone out there. All right, you're supposed to look after an anonymous source even before they're an anonymous source, unless you like really are really sure that they're trying to hide shit from the world, that they did something corrupt or criminal, and you want to showcase that. Am I
Well, she's
tripping?
been getting
Am I tripping about this?
she's been getting about 8 million views an episode on the most like everybody's watching this shit. So
is this
with the
irresponsible?
topic,
Like as far as
I
like
think so. I think so.
because
I
she
mean,
doesn't even know if the guy's like guilty of anything, but she just threw his fucking name out there. Holy Christ!
yeah. I mean, unless she traces it to like to have very substantial reason,
Yeah, like he's
then
caught
yeah,
on
I think it's
camera doing
irresponsible.
something. Yeah, like he's caught like doing something weird, and you know about it, and you have the blatant receipt for that. Like, here's what this guy did. Here's who that guy is. Like, okay, that makes sense. But if it's just pure speculation, you could be fucking that dude's shit up, like really fucking his shit up, like
I think
like has to
Candace is
move
willing to
type shit.
sacrifice some people
Yeah, it's
for some reason.
fuck. Now it's making me look at Candace like, yo, maybe you don't have as many receipts, or you're not allowed to say the receipts that you do have, or whatever the fuck. But you have to give something to the audience, so let's give a name. It could be something like that, which is pretty scary as well. But let's hit play though. Let's see where she goes with this. This is actually kind of weird. Here we go.
Feel someone that we need to get in touch with. We've tried to get in touch with him.
Oh, he didn't pick up the
name of that
phone, so you know what?
individual is
Tell the world his
former
name.
Deputy Mike Mitchell. Okay. Deputy Mike Mitchell. Now, oddly, despite a career of 25 years in the police force,
Now he has
I
to get in
can't
touch with
find
you.
a
It's
single
so
trace
weird.
of him in old newspapers. So I'm looking for more information on this guy. I understand that he knows Tyler through the Boy Scouts. He's involved in the LDS Church, and I think Tyler was the Boy Scout leader. That's the connection there. We were able to confirm that
You better have
this
something
Mike Mitchell lives
legit,
on the
Candace.
block, lives nearby, as was told via other sources. And thus far, we have only been able to even see a picture of him. There's just one picture or a set of pictures that we were able to find. And that, again, which would mean Brooksby lied a little bit. I don't like a little bit of lies because you usually have to lie a little bit when there's something bigger that you're afraid of. According to this post, he retired last January. Here it is. On the left, you have Brooksby. I don't trust that guy. Just don't trust him. And on the right-hand side, you have, today we celebrated the career of Detective Mike Mitchell. After over 24 years of serving, 24 years, Washington County, he is retiring, starting in the jail back in 1999. Sheriff Brooksby and Detective Mitchell both had some wonderful stories to share. We would like to give our heartfelt thanks to Detective Mitchell and all who came out to give him a warm send-off. Congratulations, Detective Mitchell. This is the only trace of this guy I could find. That's weird. That is very odd. That is unusual. That is an anomaly. When you serve that long in the police force, you inevitably make it into the news. So I am asking, and we tried to reach out to this individual. We have had no luck. If you have any more information about this individual, if he is your Boy Scout leader or he works for your church, please send us tips at CandaceOwens.com. Guys, I'm going to again say here, we appreciate all of the tips, but please don't send us links to somebody else's video and their theories because we're a very small team. There's literally 4 of us, and we want to get to actual tips pertaining to the questions that we're asking and that we're looking for about the individuals that we're mentioning, not other people's theories. If they have like a theory about what direction the bullet might have traveled, please reserve that to our social media handles. Tag us on Facebook, tag us on Instagram. And
Okay. Holy Christ, dude. Is this is one of those scenarios where it's like, even if later on you find out, oh, this Mitchell guy is a part of the conspiracy to do X, Y, or Z, right? At this point in time, I would still say it's like irresponsible. Like the way she's doing it's irresponsible to me. Extremely irresponsible. Right? We don't know this fucking guy, but all of a sudden, like a painting is being painted, if you will, right? Or a picture being painted. You're just like getting this idea of like this guy through Candace's eyes, with no confirmations about anything, and like, oh, he has not. Where's his social media presence? I don't. I don't know. I who knows what the reasons could be? Maybe the guy's a detective. Like, yeah, I don't want my picture out there. Or me with my family because I do detective work, and that could be scary. Someone might want revenge or something like that, right? Maybe there's not that much crime where he's at. Who knows? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. But it's the way Candace is doing this without any real like she's basically saying that, yeah, if you know anything about this person, send it to me. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Don't they do that with like people that
Are
that just like
blatantly
murder
caught.
somebody?
Yes. They show a picture and they say, hey, this guy killed someone. Does anyone know who the fuck
Do you
this
have
person
any
is?
information about him?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. This dude, we don't know anything about. And she's like, well, I think he's sus. So you know what? If anyone has any information on this guy, please come to Candace. Tips for Candace. Like, fuck my life, dude. Oh my god, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Candace. Like, this is suable, isn't it? Am I tripping? If this guy gets some weird threats or gets weird shit sent to him or 40 pizzas delivered to his house or some shit like that, like, am I tripping about that? Don't you have like a legal team, Candace, to tell you like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do this, right? Until you like have like the legit real information. You caught the guy, you have him on screen with you have him on video camera, like with a gun to Tyler's head, like, listen, you're gonna confess to this, you're gonna do it. Otherwise, I'm gonna kill your whole fucking family, all right? Confess right now. Turn yourself in. Unless you have some shit like that, you don't know what you're doing. You could be ruining someone's life, actually, to where this guy has to move, right? He has to leave the area because maybe he's, from letters to pranks to what did we see last night? Swattings to all this shit, without even knowing whether or not the guy's like did something wrong or not. I'm wrecked, bro. I'm wrecked. Yeah.
This is Candace. We're watching Candace.
But like
The Macron Candace. The I'm not gonna let it go even if it stops a war, Candace.
what the fuck was that?
Like no. Nah.
Oh, I heard like a loud pop outside my house. That's your second loud pop. I'm gonna play, but I'll be right back.
We'll get a look at those videos, but we really want to keep the tips lines for answers to the questions that we're coming across. And again, we appreciate you guys so much because we wouldn't have gotten as far as we have if it wasn't for that tips box. I do also want to say before we get into reading and telling you something even crazier that happened, I'm talking crazy, crazy. I do want to assert here that I'm uncomfortable with the fact that despite all of the friends that Charlie Kirk made, all the schmoozing that he did, presidents, right, department heads, I am the only person that is publicly demanding further investigation into his assassination. Why? It's totally rubbing me the wrong way. Something's not right here. Even Turning Point USA, they're just like, we've accepted. Like, obviously, there are holes in this narrative, and they're just like, we're going to just keep up his shit. What is going on, actually? I just want to say that and get that off of my chest. I don't like it. It's rubbing me the wrong way.
Okay.
All right, guys. Throwing it to some of our sponsors. I tell you all the time about Preborn.
I swear to God, I read that Instagram story and I saw other people talking about her. Like, oh, you can't wait. Let's see what happens during Candace's Monday night show. And there's nothing. Didn't she say irrefutable? Hold on. Let's look at this shit again. In case I'm tripping.
Is it the end of the segment? She's going to
Maybe
commercial.
she might have more, but let's just. I need to show this right now, just so we can be like, okay, this is what like might be
That's why we're here.
planned. Yes. Let me see. Share screen. Okay. I want to break this news. I'm reading it again. I don't care. I want to break this news immediately because it feels important, and I think if I don't break it immediately, something bad might happen. I hope I have earned the trust enough of the people to believe me when I say I have verified this information but cannot reveal the source.
Not my choice.
Tyler Robinson is not suicidal. The entire narrative that was placed in the media about him having been suicidal is completely fictional, as are many other aspects of what we have been told. Okay? His father having turned him in after a confession is also complete fiction. To the contrary, Tyler Robinson maintains his innocence and has never been to the UVU campus. That's a big one. Has never been to the campus. She just repeated that again tonight, right? Like, where are you substantiating that? Like, where's that at? Like, how do you know? Like, how do you know or could prove that? I'm right. Once again, I have no problem with people throwing out theories and questions and all that shit. And maybe she does have something verified, but kind of almost leave it at that. Hey guys, I can verify this. I can't just do this right now though because of, maintaining anonymity for the person I'm talking to, yada yada yada. But you can if you're worried about getting suicided or some shit because you're holding on to information, you can say it in a certain way to where I have something and I'm not suicidal and this is the way I'm going. You can actually just do that. But what I'm getting here is what I'm getting in her video is what I'm getting in this post from, I think, Friday or Saturday. Let's keep reading. There are absolutely zero photos or video that the campus can produce to the contrary. Fair enough. Which is why they... Hold on. Let me read all this. Which is why they have produced nothing other than a blurry image which Tyler's family knows is not him. Tyler's family knows is not him. How the fuck do you know that? Now, is it from family people saying that? And they're your anonymous source? And you're afraid to use you don't want to use their name or whatever the fuck, right? Fair enough. But really overemphasize, I can't say it as proof right now, but I have someone that's basically giving me proof. Say that. I can't show you guys yet, so don't even take this as the truth or anything like that. Keep questioning things. But I have a source where this is the case. Tyler's never once expressed a suicidal thought. I want to make that clear. I don't even know how you know that one. The federal government is lying about absolutely everything other than the fact that it is his gun. She said that again in this video. Last part. Not that we needed further substantiation, but Tyler Robinson did not author those Discord messages. I think she means the text messages, because that's what she went over today. I would like to again stress that he has never been to UVU campus. That's second time, right? She leaned into it, right? But all I needed to, and I need to confirm this, I believe he was around the campus on that day, which he did say was the case, I think, in this video. I will have more on this later. But I wanted to immediately publish that the Tyler Robinson suicide narrative, plus the dad that did the right thing after realizing his son was guilty, is a federal concoction. I mean, future video, by the way. Candace, after this commercial break, you better fucking hit some shit. You better hit me with some shit, bro.
I got questions.
God.
Okay. First question, how do you prove a negative? Second question,
In what regard? What scenario exactly?
He's never been there ever in his life. Have you been following him his whole life?
That'd be hard
to the
prove.
point of ridiculousness.
But you leave room for if you have receipts for anything, show us, and then we can be okay, but there's still room for him being on campus, or damn, you have just the greatest evidence of all time, and he was never on the campus.
Hold on.
Right? Got it.
Next question. Haven't people been claiming that he spent a semester at the school?
Now, Candace said in this video that he got accepted at Utah State, and not UVU.
At the same school.
Not the same school.
Okay.
But once again, I need receipts. We haven't seen any like documents, receipts to confirm any of this shit. That's what I'm saying. But it sounds like someone very close to the family. If she has this source, it's got to be like maybe someone in the family or close, very, very, very close to the family. Right? Maybe a brother or a sister. Maybe the parents are like, okay, we need to keep things quiet here because we don't want the whole circus of things. But maybe the siblings are like, there's no way. My big brother, my whatever, would never do this. So, you know what? I'm going to talk to Candace directly. But Candace can't say my name because then it'll get me in trouble, right?
Did she give it away when she said she gave more details when she mentioned the boyfriend's um, family's perspective?
That was from before, though. She already showcased that in a prior video.
Or that was externally, like those, was that just known from other
No,
sources?
she talked to family members. It was kind of out there a little bit, and then I think she followed up on it, and I think she talked directly to a family member where they're like, "Yeah, he's been kind of trouble for a while, or whatever the fuck," right?
Okay.
So yeah, it's like receipts are needed, Candace. And once again, even if you're doing it for the sake of like, you know, like the kind of conspiratorial stereotype of say all the information now so that you don't get killed, or sorry, if you do get killed, we know it wasn't like just some random suicide. It's because you said this information out loud, right? That's kind of a stereotypical thing. But you could do that in a much more cleaner way, in my opinion, than what Candace is doing right now. This comes off as a little bit. She's making too many affirmations, I think, without anything backing it up. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, when you do something like that, it puts you in an extremely vulnerable position. Like if you get proven wrong, right? Because you'd be so
yeah,
wrong. So it's a little unusual, like
oh, Jesse.
to do that, unless you're doing that like the big lie, that whole technique of lying where it's so big that it really works because people wouldn't think you do that. But unless you're maneuvering that way, you generally be very sure of your information before saying all the types of things you just said.
Now,
But I don't know. I don't know what's the
Jesse.
case, but I'm just bringing that up as a.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I get what you're saying, but I'm like, this is not my story or my topic. I really want to. I never cared to look into it at all. Whatever, but there is that story of the Macron wife having a cock, right? And then this lady now apparently offered evidence to prove that she's a woman, right? And Candace says, "I don't care. You're a man." Right? And moves on like it didn't
yes.
happen.
Yeah.
So it's like this could.
Completely valid point. Yes.
But that I'll be fair here, as in I didn't look into it. Maybe the Macron was fucking Bridget Macron's thing or maybe her evidence is bullshit, right? And Candace is right the whole time. But I'm just saying, if Candace was actually wrong and medically proven wrong, but she's like, you know what, I'm right anyways. You can kind of make those stories like as time goes by, maybe the story just like kind of disappears a bit because another big story replaces it. You know what I'm saying? Where, or even RFK blackmail, right? Did a whole thing about that, and yet has not been proven. No real receipts about it. Just says it. But guess what? Hey, Charlie Kirk got shot. All of a sudden, story, into the background, into the fucking ether somewhere, and now we're on Charlie Kirk. Like it's just there is definitely a possibility like that she could be whatever, fudging her data, fudging her evidence, right? It doesn't have to be full scale like, I'm just coming out and I'm just gonna make shit up and lie. It could just be like fudging things that you actually have access to, right? Just fudging them to make it look like there's something like crazy going on or something, some sort of narrative that you're leaning towards, right? For sure she could do that without even like, you know what I mean? Like without
She could be overconfident in her
yes, exactly.
in her deduction.
Exactly, and then find out she's wrong. She's like, whatever, just don't even talk about it anymore. Move on. Like, it's just like, it could be like that. But, like, based on that shit I just read, which is from several days ago, I'm expecting some fucking bombshells to drop in this video. I mean, once again, 200-something thousand people, 200,000 fucking people show up to see it. They're curious. But damn, what does Candace have? Other content creators have been talking about it. Yo, Candace about to drop some bombs on Monday. Pause? Whatever. So it's like, okay, let's continue here. I'm gonna skip her ads, and we'll see if she changes topics, or like if you had the fucking goods, you'd show that already, bro. We are too deep into this video for her not to show the fucking goods at this point. Pause. Here we go.
Because I've watched way too many people that are close to me be vilified for standing up for truth. That's what I do here, just standing up for truth.
Okay.
And I have felt that sting of media pressure and lies that are told. But I've also felt something else, which is courage. And I think that we have to stop playing defense. We should not water down what we believe is palatable, because silence is not kindness. It's actually consent. And right now, the greatest silence is around the lives that are being ended before they even take their first breath. If we're going to call ourselves defenders of life, we need to.
There's a reason why I didn't just skip that. It's because she just tailored that whole thing into the ad. Like that. Oh my god, this woman's demon. That shit. Oh my god, I'm skipping.
Act like it.
Skip. Oh my god.
Okay, but I need to offload this and get your opinion. Now,
Pause.
first and foremost, I have to tell you about this student who I'm going to refer to as Nick. Nick is not his real name. I'm going to refer him as Nick to protect his identity, obviously. I came across Nick very early on in this investigation. In fact, you might recall when I shared a photo online of a person that looked suspicious. He was wearing like a black suit and black glasses, and he seemed to have a strap hanging out of his bag. Here he is right here, and he was in the food court. I shared that photo.
And this guy has like I think he had like a glove on his right hand. So I've seen this guy on Twitter, like, who's this guy? Because he's dressed like Men in Black, right? So
Elon Musk.
he's dressed like an edgelord. So, all right, here we go.
Because Nick had sent it to me into our tips box and said, this person looks rather mysterious. He's running through the food court. And from there, he kind of became like boots on the ground. He was like, hey, I go to UVU. I'm a major Candace Owens fan. I want to help in any way that I can. Okay. So that's
a guy showing up in a suit, looked like that, with a black glove on his right hand, dressed like Men in Black and all that shit. I'm sure he's looking for a content creation career. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, dude. I'll be honest. That might be a leap for me, but forgive me if the thought pops into my head. Here we go.
That's how that happened.
Sorry, Candace, for cutting Candace off.
And right away, he told me on like
information.
day 2 of the investigation that he worked on Phil Lyman's gubernatorial campaign. Phil Lyman ran against the current governor Cox, and he lost. And one day, very early on, this must have been like day 3, Nick cold calls me, and Phil Lyman's on the phone. Okay, like I said, he ran for governor, and I was prepping for the show, and things were early on, and I was still in a very aggrieved phase, and I didn't really know I was on the phone with this guy, Phil Lyman. And I was like, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that you're offering help. And Nick insisted to me, he's a fantastic person. He has tons of resources. He knows the area. If you need any help, he can help you. Okay, great. Fast forward to me looking into the witness list, and obviously we spoke about this Tiffany Peterson Barker, that very weird clip of her with her nieces at like 4 a.m. in the morning, just speaking on Good Morning America, and her energy was just weird to me. I thought her being there was weird. Obviously, this is my podcast. I can say whatever I want. We reached out to her, and then she gave us a ton of information, but never actually presented to us. She never sent me directly any footage that could verify that she was there when Charlie Kirk got shot. Okay. And she was a bit upset that I didn't clarify that. I thought it was weird that she wouldn't just text me the footage, because
I think we're getting a sense of Candace's strategy in regards to all this. Accuse someone of something, or like maybe question in a certain way, then they show up or they send you a message, they call you, somehow they get in contact with you and they give up the information, or at least some of it, right? With the mom with the two, I think they were her nieces, right? In the George Stephanopoulos fucking interview thing, right? Then you have the dude dressed in like Men in Black with a Michael Jackson glove on. That guy, like, oh, she pointed him out, and now, now she gets in contact with him. Maybe she's doing that with this Mitchell guy. She says his name out loud, points out who it is, and then now this guy will come out to her and give all this information to her or some shit like that. It's just like, is that how you do investigative journalism? Is that how you do that? You just kind of
We
like
just put people's
force
lives
their
in danger
hand. Yeah,
until they tell you everything they know.
you kind of force their hand, right? To where it's like, all right, I have to actually call this person and give her the real story so that she's not out here like, theorizing about me or whatever the fuck. And I'm not sure I don't think that's ethical. I wouldn't be able to do that for me personally. Maybe other people it's okay. The point is to get to the truth or whatever the fuck. Fine, fair enough. But for me personally, I can't just do that. I can't hold them hostage. I can't do that. Okay, here we go.
Didn't allow me to confirm that she was where she said she was. That's what metadata is for. Metadata instantly will say, here's where you were, at what time, and this is this person's iPhone. So I wasn't going to lie to my audience. I just told you guys, hey, you can check her out on her Instagram. Here's her excuse. She
Oh
says
my
that
God.
this is why her nieces said that, and we sort of moved on, right?
But Candace, you see why like just handing you, let's say like I was involved in something, right? You see why just handing you my metadata is not like some sort of thing I want to do like, personally? Like, if it's like I have to because it's the only person I can clear my name or whatever the fuck the situation is. Okay, fine. But like, naturally, there's no way I'm handing you my phone so you can go through all of it and get the metadata from it. Like, it's like, no, dude.
You
Trust
can't give
me.
metadata remotely. She'd have to go on the phone and get kind of deep into
I'm sure there's like diagnostic tools, right, for a phone that you can.
which you'd have to install
Yeah.
on their phone.
Yeah. Maybe you can like do it on your own and send the diagnostics over to Candace. Why the fuck would you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? I'm sorry, Candace holds no weight in regards to the world of like integrity and honor. She doesn't live there to me, so why the fuck would I send you my metadata? It's here we go. Whatever. Here we go.
Then I learned
sure.
from
I need to
Nick
shut up and let
that
Candace
the photo of the
spin.
person who was wearing that black suit and dark sunglasses had come from Tiffany Barker's mother. I was like, well, that's weird. Whatever. And then you'll recall we learned from Tiffany when I was trying to figure out how did you get this hit on Good Morning America? Like, did you share something that would have had them reach out? Well, then I told you, she told us, actually, Phil Lyman is the person that put me on Good Morning America. My sister ran with him as lieutenant governor. And I was like, oh, okay. So Phil Lyman got you that position on Good Morning America. You had essentially a connection there that made that happen. Don't know how I missed this, but then I learned that Phil Lyman himself was very involved in all of the communications that immediately went out about the shooting, and that his car was in the driveway of the now infamous TMZ footage, which showed the shooter walking twice that day by this house. In fact, Phil Lyman says that he had just pulled into that driveway minutes earlier and had just missed.
Well, that's
the shooter.
something.
Here he is in his own words, speaking to Kaylee McEnany. Take a listen.
I do want to linger on a moment for what you just told us, and I'm going to ask the team to pull back up that surveillance footage that we've gotten from TMZ, from those neighborhood cameras. You said that in that footage is your driveway, and you parked there at 11:30 a.m. We know this footage that you're looking at was taken at 11:49 a.m. So
gun in the
you would have
pants
been on
limp.
that street, that driveway, 19 minutes.
Right across. Yeah, it's not my driveway. It's my aunt's driveway. Parking lot was very full. He's walking in front of my aunt's house there right now, and my cousin's house is the driveway that is taking that photo, and my CRV, the gray CRV in the distance there that is my car. I parked there probably 10
Yeah,
minutes.
third leg.
He walked by, and I had not seen this footage till just now, and it
Your
just
whole
keeps,
family living good
so
like
many
this,
things
bro?
that keep linking up. It's
Damn.
really astonishing to me.
Need to move to Utah.
And then we went back to this house afterwards. They thought they had the shooter. So I took a friend of mine. We went back to my aunt's house and said, well, we'll just hang out
Get your
here for a
magic
while.
underwear.
And before long,
I'd be like a
the
church
people
leader
were combing the
within like
backyard,
weeks, I
as you
think.
saw. She had the footage
Just
of
go to
that.
Utah.
Oh, wait, no,
converting to Mormonism.
Mormons.
And so
Mormons
this is
don't accept
very local
blacks.
to me. Very, I mean, not only is
They'll
it
find out I'm
Utah, but
different.
it's kind of my
All right.
neighborhood where I spent so
I'm a
much of my
daywalker.
childhood and all of my relatives. This is
That
really
was part of that
astonishing.
video
Yeah.
too.
I got up yesterday morning at 6 o'clock to drive up and meet Charlie, and I haven't been to bed since then, because it's just one thing after another, and so astonishing that this could happen in Utah.
Now, just to be clear and to reiterate, 19 minutes before the shooter walks across, he had just pulled into the driveway. Phil Lyman pulled into the driveway. He says that he saw Charlie Kirk that day. We're going to get to that. Also, when he says like he grew up there and his family owns, we were able to determine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
This is a
6,
prize
7,
story.
8, 9, 10, 11,
clearing up
12
after.
homes right there.
Are we saying this is a shooter or this is Tyler?
Okay.
It's one of the stories that was brought up prior to by Candace of like whose houses are these? Oh, it's conveniently this person or that person or whatever the fuck.
But she called him the shooter. So is this video of Tyler or some other person that we're saying is the shooter?
I guess it's a different person.
Okay.
According to Candace,
I can't
was
tell.
Tyler.
Yeah, I can't tell.
It's who the government claimed was Tyler.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, but it's not a clear video, right? Like you can't. Is it
No, you
discernible?
You and I could never know one way or another if that's Tyler or think it's or not.
We can't tell. Okay.
I'm fucking wrecked, dude. I am wrecked. I mean, she just told us like in the first segment of this, she told us all this shit, and now like we're onward, like it didn't happen. Almost, it's just like I don't know, it's just brain breaking to me. But then again, I am used to this from Candace. It's just still astonishing every time I see it. Personally, that's just the feeling I get. I'm like, wow. That's not even me calling her a liar. It's just like maybe she's a bad like showwoman or showsman, whatever you want to call it. Maybe she's just bad at it to where it's like for me, like I'm saying, for me, quality wise is bad because it's you just built up like a whole thing here and didn't substantiate anything, and I just moved on. Like you didn't just say all that shit you said before. It's astonishing, I think. But it's gonna fly. And like I know I joke, although I do think she's like quite psychopathic or some shit like that. I really do believe that. But psychopathic Oprah might be like the perfect namesake for this woman. Holy Christ. Here we go. Whatever. Here we go.
Okay, absolutely incredible. And that his little press tour, obviously now you're like, explaining your car was in the driveway. So the issue.
She's turning her friend's death into a TV show. That's what I'm.
Then he went on to Alex Jones and spoke about where he was when the shot rang out. And what's kind of, and I'm laughing here because it's kind of absurd. He kind of sort of blames it on these two random goth girls, maybe. Like he's kind of implying like there were these girls that were wearing black and maybe they should be taken a look at further. Take a listen.
Just yesterday, someone comes in and he says, we've got video. He came off the roof. He came up here to the parking lot, got in the car with an individual and they drove away. Well, that's not the story that came, so that he escaped another route. And there are people who are coordinating this thing. I do not believe that 30-06 that they showed recovered in the bushes was ever on the roof. I think it was in the bushes to start with. And now I'm not saying that Tyler Robinson wasn't on the roof. I'm not saying he didn't pull a trigger. I was in very, very close proximity. So another interesting thing, like I say, I left the front of the stage. I wanted to meet some of my friends and bring them down front. So I was clear at the east end, and I
That's
heard
a
this
goth
loud
girl.
boom. I heard
That's
this
not
loud
a
bang.
goth girl.
And I turned around and I'm looking like, what was that? What was that? And
Could be
pretty
a
soon
witch,
some
though.
people started, running. Everyone was trying to process. And I thought, this is a gunshot, and there's going to be more of them. I thought it could turn into a mass shooting. So I go to the people closest to me. Everyone's ducking down behind the concrete retaining walls, and some of them were still kind of oblivious, but there were two people that were standing there. Two girls, very goth, very black, and I just walked, I stepped up to the side of them, and I said, did that not happen right here? Did you hear that? Was that right here? They said, yeah, it was just right over there. So they're confirming, yeah, the shooter or wherever that sound came from is right here. The thing that didn't really dawn on me is that they were not running. They were not frightened. In fact, as I stepped up, I heard one of the girls, and they were talking to each other, and they're looking at these kids, looking at the scene down below them of all these people fleeing for their lives. And she says, go F yourselves. And like I said, I was not processing that. I was
just
trying to figure out
goth
what was
girls
going on.
Antifa.
This is a separate conversation. I don't know what it is. In hindsight, as I've watched that over and over, it's like these people were not afraid.
Okay, so what I get from that is he was up high because he says they're looking down below, and that maybe people that are wearing black are immediately suspects. I don't know, because they were not afraid. Anyways, he also went on to a local Utah news station and spoke about how he was with Charlie just before Charlie went onto stage. Take a listen.
Phil, thanks for joining us, first of all. But I saw a picture. I saw a picture of you with Charlie Kirk, and it looks like you were like maybe right before he went on stage. Is this just like minutes before this happened?
Yeah, no, I was basically backstage, and when he came out and was throwing the hats, I was there. I was standing next to stage, and I would have been there when the shooting took place, but I needed to go meet some of my friends, and I didn't want to just hang around. So there's a part of me that's glad that I wasn't in close proximity, and part of me that feels bad that I wasn't there, just in some form of moral, presence and support. It's such a tragic thing.
When I combine those clips, I'm kind of unclear as to where he was exactly when the shots rang out, if he was close or if he felt bad that he wasn't close. Anyways, he went onto Instagram that night as Tiffany was prepping her Good Morning America hit, I suppose. And he speaks further about what he was doing back onto campus and what exactly he remembers. Take a listen. Again, this is on September 10th, and it's around 11:30 p.m. at night.
Hey, it's September 10th, 2025, and I was just heading back from Salt Lake to Blanding. I'm getting a very late start. It's about 11:30 at night, and I wanted to swing back by UVU campus where Charlie Kirk was killed today and see if I could let a few of the police officers know how much I appreciate the work they're doing, see if there's some college students here that I could rub shoulders with, more for my benefit than for theirs. But what I really wanted to share was I was very close this morning where Charlie Kirk was at. Met him backstage, and we talked for a moment before he went on stage, and I was backstage as he started speaking, then decided to go up top, and I went up to the top, and ironically was very close to where the shooter was. Apparently the shot was very loud, and I determined pretty quickly that whoever it was on the roof, and it was a 200-yard kill shot.
How'd you say that?
Where was he? I don't know. I find this to be a little weird, but look, let's be clear. By no means conclusive of anything other than perhaps a strange coincidence, and maybe this is why he feels so impassioned and wants to keep speaking about it. Also, he's a gubernatorial candidate. Makes sense. This would be a political moment to show that you're a leader. And look, life is not exactly an Agatha Christie novel, right? Where the guilty party somehow inserts himself into the investigation. So I park that aside. I keep pushing, and I'm following more public leads. But also, I do recall in the back of my mind that both Phil and Tiffany Barker, and as it would turn out, another person that lives on that street with the last name Shumway, kept trying to get me to look into Governor Cox because he's, according to Tiffany, very supportive of the trans stuff. You should look into Tiffany said, into Governor Cox. And similarly, the Shumway emails were like, you should look into this Governor Cox because he likes trans. So they're open and close. That feels to me always just like Fed bait, left versus right? He likes trans people, so it has to be him. Okay. Oddly, look, I'm just following the facts here. Nothing in my investigation has made me ask a question further about Governor Cox on that day. Nothing came up organically, so I'm not going to push it just because he's a Democrat. And actually, where I was
I thought he was a Republican.
this process, what's that?
Okay, whatever.
Oh, pushing that because Governor Cox is his, sorry, I said Democrat because he's his, he's warring with him. And that's the candidate that he wants to go after. And I actually start noticing as I'm looking into this investigation that everyone who was involved on that day, literally the person who spots the shooter on the roof, military, the person who says, oh, I just happened to be in the right place in the Flag of Halls where I saw him running, also in the military. And I'm starting to think, is it possible that this is like a military hit? I don't know, but I'd like to find out. Next came a tip that you guys saw me receive live on the show. A woman paid to say, Candace, there's more footage of the shooter on that day. And you should know that that shooter was with a woman, right? That's a tip that I received, that woman, that the shooter was with a woman and he was seen changing clothes and that they've cut out that footage. So I reach out to that individual and the name that they give me for the house that this took place in, and I'm able to confirm that this property is nearby, is owned by Lyman branch. So now I want to be clear, I could not attach whether or not yet this individual is related to Phil Lyman, but he's been honest about the fact that his family lives around there a lot. Like, the Steele Lyman clan is here. So I was a little bit on alert, maybe like a lot of bit on alert, and I decided to just do a basic search into Phil Lyman. Like, is his family in the military? I don't know. I'm asking the question to myself, and I'm quite surprised that it's impossible for me to find out who his mother and father are. Like, I literally don't know what goes on in Utah, but it seems like a very weird thing to me that you would be able to keep information about who your mom and dad are private if you're running for governor. Right? So I just simply ask Nick. I haven't shared any of this with Nick because I know that he worked for Phil Lyman. I'm not accusing Phil Lyman of anything. I'm just like trying to actually shut that down.
Yeah, you are.
And he says, I don't know who his mom and dad are. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Okay, weird, whatever. I then decide to keep pushing on military things that I have. People that were on the ground that day who I've confirmed were in the military. Anyways, then something insane happens. Nick calls me. And he's a little bit undone. He tells me that Phil Lyman has just showed up at his house. Now, I want to be very clear. Nick is 20 years old. He's a 20-year-old UVU student and a major super fan of Phil as of 48 hours ago. And he's very uncomfortable. And he tells me that Phil randomly messaged him saying that he was nearby in town, and asked Nick for his address, something that he never had. And Nick, quite naively, being this Phil super fan, thinks that Phil's going to come and offer him a job because he's been so on it, investigating this Charlie Kirk assassination. And that's not what happens at all. Instead, he says that he shows up, he opens the door for him, and his energy is very weird. And he's asking him weird questions. He's looking out of the window nervously. He sits down at the table. He's asking him questions about my investigation. I'm like, I shared nothing with Nick. I literally was asking him, can you go here, pick up this, whatever it is. And he is thinking this is getting weird. I said, what specifically did he say to you? Well, he tells me that Phil has also set up a time to meet with Ian Carroll. Okay, so Ian Carroll is conducting his own separate investigation. We are not collaborating at all. But Ian Carroll publicized that he was going up to Utah because he wanted to be on the ground physically by himself. And he was reaching out to people that who had been speaking about having been there. And Phil Lyman is so gracious that he offers to give him a tour. And Nick tells me, he's like, that's really weird now because we're like 2 weeks on from this shooting and Phil Lyman lives 4 hours away. So that's very, very gracious of him to do, but his energy isn't good. And then he mentions Governor Cox and he mentions Tyler Boyer of Turning Point USA and says that, again, this is according to Nick, that Tyler Boyer and the Lyman have been speaking and that they're, really going to make Governor Cox, and I'm paraphrasing here, But apparently there's another Utah event, USU event coming up, and Governor Cox is supposed to speak, and Phil Lyman intimates that,
UVU?
like, you know, this TPUS event, Governor Cox isn't going to look great. I'm like, what? He then tells him, I'm going to go, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a phone call in my car. So he's just idling in a 20-year-old's driveway who just happened to work on his campaign, and he's on the phone. And he's why he's calling me panicking. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why he's being so weird. I don't know why he's asking questions about this investigation. And I'm like, yeah, this is weird. This is very weird. So then I'm like, I'm honing in here. I'm like, what's going on? I feel like he knows
I don't even know
something
what
at the
I'm
very
watching anymore,
least. Maybe
honestly.
I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. And I begin to actually search
just,
through
like,
our
sitting
text
here.
For the
box for
days of our
anything I
lives.
needed to Phil
Yeah,
Lyman. Maybe somebody else noticed something or knew something or he said something, and lo and behold,
I'll let it
very
play out
early
just in
on,
case.
someone just messaged us and said, hey, like, you should probably ask more questions about Phil Lyman, because every time I look into this investigation locally, him and his family members are popping up. And then that person tells me that his nephew had sort of done this public tour, like Phil Lyman's nephew did this public tour saying that he was going to walk the same route that the shooter walked near his grandmother's house, and that they found, you guys remember this, they found the Converse footprint nearby his grandma's house. And he presented a map, like, this is it. This is actually from his Instagram. He presents this map, and his nephew's name is Shane. And this was all public. I'm only looking at things publicly. And let's just look at some of these posts from nephew Shane. I mean, first and foremost, he's with his friends.
Holy dweebs.
I took my friends to my grandma's
Fuck.
house tonight, and we retraced
Fucking bunch
his
of
steps,
Dexters.
and we took pictures in the exact place that the security cameras caught him.
Fuck, I missed 3
I've been through
seconds.
this
Gotta start
new
over. I'm
experience
lost.
for the last few days. I'm still very glad to have attended and to support Charlie Kirk and to see him. The last pic shows Converse brand footprints. And then he does hashtags, and here are him and the 3 friends. And by the way, I'm looking at the front on the right, and I'm like, I don't know. I'd like to know who that is at the very least. And I'd like to know who everybody in this photo is. This is just interesting. Like, you guys are in the staircase and posting side by sides. Like, they put these side by side photos of
Basically, just
them in the
doxing
staircase.
people to find out if they know.
And I just was like, I need to.
She almost said the guy on the right, like, kind of looks like she didn't say it, but she's like, am I tripping? Was she about to say that?
She did.
It's like, it kind of looks like, I don't know.
The same build.
If we just dox everybody there, eventually we'll find out.
But I mean, she's telling the story about, like, how weird it is that these people are recreating the scene, right? Like, or rewalking the steps. Which, I mean, if you think about it, she is also doing that, even if it's not walking those things. She's looking at every stone on about the path. But now she's going to, that these guys look similar, like taking pictures in the same place.
Well, that's another point. Like, how crazy this is that those are supposed to be their screenshots of video footage, right? Yeah. But each screenshot, it's him, like, completely hiding his face. Whoever this person is walking through the stairwell, right?
Yeah.
It's a perfect moments of them covering their face. It's like, one's like looking away, one's looking down. That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, he's got sunglasses on, but his face is not covered. So they're gonna have angles where that sunlight is hitting it clearly.
Right. Anthony brought it up the first time we saw these things, where it's like, yo, if that's a video camera, right? If you see how low the camera is, if you took that picture like 2 or 3 steps back, like the little steps right there, right? If he goes like 2 or 2 steps back up, you see more of his face. But instead, they take this picture where it's like,
They have his full face.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, right? They put that out there like that. That's kind of nuts.
Not like a shadow. Yeah, they have his full face. Like, I'm saying, I mean, depends on how the sun hits it, but like, I think it would be not even shaded.
Well, it's like, does he know? Does this guy know where the cameras are, and he's hiding his face? That's more evidence, right? I'm just saying, like, the 2 bottom pictures, right? I'm just saying, like, it's like,
I
are
would
you
say
perfect
worse.
timing hiding your face, or are they
No,
just
they're
showing us
perfect
particular
timing, like just
pictures?
showing the pictures of when his face is not visible.
Exactly. That's what it fucking looks like. Like the second one, the bottom right one, it can almost be like, oh shit, a camera. He looks away. Like he already looked at the
Yeah.
camera in the first place. I could believe that so much, but I don't know.
You know what it is? It's one of them 1999 cameras. Instead of being film, it takes pictures every half a second, and you put it together to make a film.
I mean,
Or
And
honestly, the
then
guy could have just worn a COVID
some of
mask.
it's missing. Some of it's just missing.
That
see,
wouldn't even be weird now. COVID mask.
it's called 1980s shy cameras. See, whenever
No, 1999.
no 1980 shy cameras. See, whenever someone looks at them, looks at the camera gets shy, so they don't take pictures unless someone like looks away first. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
19. It's technology from the 80s. It's outdated, but you know, it happens.
But you're saying
Washing
they took these
camera.
pictures of, on the top, this picture, recreating, okay, that's fine. But also, like, they posted this on social media, and we're trying to say, like, the same person who was in the stairwell would be would be taking pictures, and that would just be too
Yeah, that'd be
nuts.
wild. But these are
Yeah,
three frat boys. I see three dweeby frat boys that have probably taken advantage of drunk girls at some point in their lives. That's what I see right now. I see the Duke lacrosse team or something. All right, here we go.
Side photos of them in the staircase.
Three
Does look
losers.
And
similar.
I just was like, I need to just know more about you, and I need to know more about these two individuals
It's
who I
every
couldn't
time
find in
his
his
face
friends
is
list,
looking
and
at
they certainly hadn't liked the photo, or else I would have messaged them directly to figure out who they are.
Ray's taking like selfies
And
of.
yeah, I found
It's
that
like, what do you- that's
very
kind of weird
strange.
itself, right?
And so I messaged.
I'll keep it a buck. That's kind of weird, right? Where it's like, oh, we're gonna do a walkthrough of this area. Let's take a selfie of Charlie Kirk shooter. Like his.
Now,
He was here, guys. See, look. Selfie.
I think you'd take
That's weird.
You would take pictures of, like, in case you miss something or something's moved or changed, like that type of thing.
That's
Although you don't have to be in the
investigating.
picture.
This is
Yeah.
we're taking like that has nothing to do with evidence at all. There's no way you're
Yeah.
getting evidence from you three idiots in a fucking picture where Charlie Kirk's killer walked through or something.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Okay. There you go.
Nick, and I asked him whether or not he had ever
You're probably better
seen
off
any
taking
images or
pictures of the
videos from
cameras and
Phil
where they're
directly.
located.
At the very least, we can see his line of vision, so I can figure out where exactly he was when the shots ran out. And I'm wondering if we can maybe get some footage that we didn't have before when the shots ran out. And also, by the way, metadata is king. That's kind of been it's good to see, because then I can put it in my timeline. That's why I love metadata. I can say this exactly happened
Candace.
at this time.
Christ is king.
Strangely, Phil kind of freaks out. He doesn't want to share those photos with Nick.
I wouldn't want to share any
asks
metadata
him
with
explicitly,
ever.
whose side are you on?
Whose side?
Whose side are you on? I thought we were all on the same side. We're all trying to catch Charlie Kirk's killer one way or the other. You inserted yourself into this, got on the phone with me. I was not even trying to make any communication with you. I literally am just asking questions. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you don't want to answer any questions. You don't want to share anything. And
I think you were right. How she gets information.
Yesterday, Phil Lyman just calls him and he shouts at him. Like, who the F do you think you are? Kind of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, who are you to ask me for anything? I already gave my photos to Taylor Hansen. And so at that point, I was like, look, you've been great, Nick, but I don't want you being shouted out. I don't want you feeling comfortable in your own home. I would like you to just remove yourself entirely from the boots on the ground elements of this investigation. I don't think Phil is acting in a way that I perceive to be stable, given the fact that, again, he inserted himself in this investigation, and we're asking, this is my car on the street. Okay, you want to be helpful. We're asking you to be helpful. And now all of a sudden you're showing up at a 20-year-old's house and you're being weird. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I said I could reach out to Phil directly by myself. And I did. I reached out to both Phil and I reached out to his nephew, Shane. And I asked for them to identify.
Told him to remove himself from the investigation.
Like I said, I'm interested and who those individuals were. He couldn't find it on his friend list. And in response, Shane immediately takes his profile private. And Lyman, Phil Lyman, leaves me on red. So I am now left in the predicament where I need to just ask the public, if you are one of those two kids that are in the photos there, I would love to ask you some questions since you publicized this tour. I mean, they even did the full video walking through where he walked. And, you know, he said, my uncle, he posted Phil Lyman. So my uncle was with Charlie. This is the video that they posted. Everything was done publicly. And now I'm like, okay, you could maybe you have something that's helpful. I want to ask you about, could you send me that photo? Could you send me that video? Could you send me
You
all
are
of this
100%
stuff?
right.
And now I'm getting radio silence. So
crazy,
unfortunately,
right?
because I need to figure out what happened on that day, I am turning to the public to try to identify those people and anything else that you may know that may help put things together for us. Again,
Are they suspects?
Please reserve the tips at CandaceOwens.com for actual
Candace.
tips related to the questions that we are asking,
Everyone's a
not for
suspect.
just comments.
You're
Those sorts
guilty
of
until
things,
you
videos that you'd like me to
give
watch,
me your
if you'd like to
metadata.
point me into a different direction, please just tag us on social media so that we can try to manage this process better. Anyways, you guys, I'm giving you a lot of weird stuff going on. Just need to know what on earth happened on that day. I'm going to get to some of your comments here. First, I want to tell you
All right. Add in 3, 2, 1.
about American financing because the Fed has...
Okay. All right. That's where... Yeah. The first part, I had a little bit more room for, like, analyzing. The second part, I'm just like... If it wasn't for the intro I did for this video where I showcase there's I guess resurfaced or an old letter that Charlie was sending to Benjamin Netanyahu. If it wasn't for that, this video might not exist. I might just like, nah, I'm not releasing this. But well, also the first part, like the first portion of this video, I kind of wanted to, I don't know. The idea of like you can't just sit back and accept what's being said to you, even if it's Candace Owens and she's countering the FBI, whatever. You really have to like actually use your own critical thinking skills in regards to all this. Watching this video, I have no reassurances about anything in regards to this case, although it was sold as so. Right? I read her fucking thing, right? Her Instagram story. It read as if something was like going to be really showcased here. And I didn't get any of that. I got a reiteration of that same Instagram post. And it's just like, okay, for others, where it's like, oh my God, can't you just expose this? Fine, I get it. Shit like that happens. But for me, I'm like, I didn't get any receipts. I don't know, proof of anything. In fact, you showcase this person's name, this detective guy, this Mitchell guy's name, right? You showcased it, while at the same time, not really like, okay, that means you have receipts then, because otherwise, this could be some regular innocent person that you're fucking putting on your giant fucking platform where you have 200,000 fucking people watching concurrently, right? Maybe like that could be a problem, Candace, right? For that person, right? And the point is to do the right thing, Candace, right? Whatever. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna leave it there. What else can I complain about? I should be used to this, but I still get wrecked every time. It's crazy. But there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comment section. There's a lot of time span content, but not really that much content in here. I don't think. But if you have a problem with anything or something you agree with me or Candace or anyone else, please let it be known in the comment section. All opinions welcome. Also, don't forget to share, support, and hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, check out the Discord if you want to join that, where also all opinions are welcome. Just no grotesqueries. And
I think you're gonna have to send your metadata to Candace.
shit, to prove I'm innocent.
Because of what you said. Yeah.
To prove I'm not part of the Charlie Kirk murder. Yeah, I'll get it right on that, man. I'll send my metadata to Candace at tips@CandaceOwens.com. By the way, by the way, people, my only strike on this channel right now, active strike, that is Candace Owens. I want everyone to know that. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying she's a shooter or anything like that, you know. Just do like silly shit like she does. All right, whatever. Please check out the description box. Also for like the video without us talking over it or pausing it, and also I think more importantly, the Charlie Kirk letter to Netanyahu, where I think it showcases that his aim was marketing, and that hey, yo Netanyahu, yo Israel, young people are not liking what you guys are doing, so you need to come up with a better strategy to clean it up and make it look good for young Americans. That's what I think Charlie's goal was, and that's what I think this little letter was and is. But yeah, description box, check it out. And with all that said, please give this video a thumbs down.